Chieftain, how can Grungwa help?
There is something Akrog has been meaning to ask. Why let Grungwar Zazka believe that Grungwar wanted him to die? It just makes no sense to Akrog.
What difference makes it? What is done is done.
It makes a big difference to Akrog. Why let Zazka hate Grungwar for so long?
Zazka would have hated Grungwa no matter what. It was easier to let him believe Grungwa was the one to suggest getting rid of Zazka.
Easier for Grungwar? That makes no sense.
It was easier for Zazka. Akrog knows how much Zazka loved and respected Akrog's sire, almost as much as Akrog did. Narjak was his hero, even though he liked not to show it.
And Grungwar wanted not to tear a wound in Zazka's memory of sire.
Maybe.
That is honorable.
Ah, please. It was just words.
Akrog has been wondering about this a long time. How decided Grungwar and Nurbok to form the bond of trust?
That is a difficult question. Grungwa is not certain they ever truly decided it. When two trolls go through enough together, something like that simply happens.
That is not quite true, is it? One must still decide to form the bond of trust.
One must ask the question, and the other must agree it is true. But the kinship and the trust, that grows on its own.
So Grungwar and Nurbok have been through much together.
Oh, far too much. Even the greatest warrior needs the support of an elder to mend his wounds. And without Nurbok's mastery of the crush stick, he would have died many times. Nurbok was death, and Grungwa was life. And together, nothing could stand in their way.
Akrog understands. And who decided to strike the bond of trust then? Was it Grungwar?
No, it was Nurbok. After the death of his sires.
He lost his sires?
Oh, it is another dark tale. Nurbok's sires were killed by brittlebone hunters and left to rot under the sun. Every troll is kin, but Grungwa must not tell Akrog that losing a same blood often hurts worse, no matter how honorable a troll is. For Nurbok, it was terrible, and he blamed himself. His sires had been very old by then, unable to defend themselves, and he had been out protecting some Moonkin workers. He had not even the chance to say farewell.
Akrog imagines Grungwar helped him through his grief.
He tried his best. Grungwa will not lie. It was not easy. Nurbok refused to talk and got angry quickly. But Grungwa just stayed and waited, ready to listen. It took a long time, but finally, Nurbok spoke.
What said he?
Many things, which Grungwa will keep to himself. But he remembers the two words Nurbok ended on, and he always will. Never again. Nurbok swore never to let another kin be killed by a brittlebone, and that was it. A day later, Nurbok asked Grungwa to be his trusted one. Grungwa accepted without batting an eyelid.
Akrog sees. He thanks Grungwar for sharing this.
Gladly. Anything to help Akrog see that Nurbok is not the mean-spirited rot-tusk Akrog thinks he is.
Akrog never said he was a rot-tusk.
But he thought it, and it is fine. Grungwa would probably feel the same way if he were in Akrog's hide. Just remember, there is often more to a kin than meets the eye.
Akrog believes Grungwar never told him. Where learned he to read?
Perhaps the chieftain asked before, but Grungwa wanted not to tell. Is that right?
Well, it is true. But Grungwar need not tell if you would rather not. Akrog understands.
No, Akrog is chieftain now, and Grungwar feels comfortable to share this. Just understand that he might leave out certain details. It is a long and dark tale.
Of course.
Well then, let them get this over with. Grungwar was a slave of the Brittlebones, the Dark Elves of Shaldan, to be precise.
Grungwar was a slave? That is...
shocking. Disgraceful. Grungwar knows. Yet it happened. He was a freshly born cubling back then, and he was on the way back to the tribe camp with Four Eyes, who had taken him to a shrine of Magua for her blessing, one of them being his sire. They accidentally stumbled into a dark elf camp, and, well...
They took them prisoner.
They killed Grungwar's sire, and one of the eyes, Barnek, and took Grungwar and the other eye with him.
Akrog is sorry to hear that.
It is fine.
So, he was a slave.
The other eye, Maka, was made one. And Grungwar never saw her again. Grungwar, on the other hand, was given to some dark elf chieftain, an Archon, as they called them. Zahar Tuwar was his name.
And that dark elf Archon taught Grungwar how to read?
Far from it, no. That dark elf Archon tossed Grungwar into a dungeon with a dozen other interesting specimens, and forgot about him. But that is not the point of this story. What matters is that Grungwar grew very weak in that dungeon. You will not lie, chieftain. It was a dark time. There was no ray of sunlight, and every day felt the same, like a black swamp that went on forever. It would have probably been the end of Grungwar, if not for that one servant. The doe she was. To this day, Grungwar knows her name not.
A brittlebone doe helped him.
At first, she only brought him food every other day. But after a while, she came more often. It is shameful to admit these feelings for a brittlebone, but Grungwar was so grateful to her. He wanted to thank her, but he could not, because he had not even learned to speak. So she taught him, with scratching and pointing.
Scratching and pointing. That was enough for Grungwar to learn so much.
Well, the chieftain must remember that Grungwar was in that dungeon for a very long time. With each of her visits, he started to repeat the sounds she made. And he studied the scratchings in the dust until they made sense. He learned only simple things at first, but with time, the words got more complex. And she even brought him simple dark elven stories to read. It was a strange time. Looking back on it now, Grungwar often wonders if it all really happened. But it did, and Grungwar's knowledge is the totem of that.
And how was Grungwar freed?
That is another painful, long story. And one Grungwar would rather not share right now. He hopes the chieftain understands.
And what about that kind brittlebone servant? Saw Grungwar her ever again?
No, because she died. The Archon had her killed when he found out what she had done. They're vile beings, these dark elves, chieftain. Even worse than the Tusk Hunters. But let them not talk more about it, no. Grungwar is... he feels like he has told enough.
All right. Akrog understands. Akrog wants to understand why Nurbak despises Akrog so much. Akrog knows Nurbak had high hopes of becoming chieftain after Sire Narjak. But is that all there is to it?
The truth is, Grungwar knows not.
Well, he must have some idea. Grungwar and Nurbak have been trusted ones for... how long?
Almost 400 moons now. To answer his question, perhaps it has to do with the way Nerbok chooses to respect.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, ever since Grunwa has known Nerbok, he was all about earning respect through deeds. There's nothing Nerbok respects more than someone who earned his position in the tribe through strength and tenacity. And it is not only about judging others. Nerbok has the same thinking about himself. Early on, before he became the great warrior, he would spend every single day with his crush stick, practicing. And while he was not ashamed of getting wounded, he was ashamed when he thought it was a mistake easily avoided. Tusks, thinking about it. He was so restless, chieftain. Every day he would wake up long before sunup and practice.
And then a green cubling who hears voices in the wind comes along and becomes chieftain just because he shares Narjak's blood.
It is true. Grunwa knows Akrog has worked hard and bled a lot for the tribe. But he imagines that in Nerbok's eyes, it was not anywhere near enough to deserve such an honor.
And can Grunwar think of anything Akrog could do to convince Nerbok he is worthy?
Nothing more than what Grunwa already said. Be a leader who is deserving. And from what Grunwa can tell, Akrog seems to be on the right path. Madman Brittlebone plan or not, Nerbok will come around, chieftain. There is nothing he treasures more than the tribe. And the moment he realizes Akrog feels the same, he will learn to respect Akrog. Grunwa can feel it.
Akrog has some bone dust for Grunwar's plant.
Grunwa was about to ask. He saw Akrog collect it. And here they are. Well, Magua praise.
Nurek's heart feel all strong now. Can't do that?
Indeed. Grunwa thinks the Tia needs no more bone dust from here on out. This will last it a moon, or even two. He thanks the chieftain again for his help. All this, no point in getting all sentimental. This will be a glorious totem for the tribe camp to last, chieftain. Grunwa knows it.
That is it for now. Akrog must go.
Of course, duty awaits.
What next? towards certain doom. Sure, why not? Interesting.
All right. Some of his bones are broken. He probably fell off the cliff.
Or someone pushed him.
That camp by the creek. It could have been his.
It probably was. He must have been tired and needed to rest.
There were some brittlebone weapons nearby. Could have played a role in this.
Could have. Could have also been another weapon.
The chains the Moonkin found at the outcast's camp could have been his.
Or some other animals.
That brittlebone eye, the hunter, knew nothing. Shame.
At least he said so.
The goblin said the outcast's greenskins were angry about a beast that had escaped. That could have been the fleshkin, no?
Or a wyvern.
The brittlebone outcast said he had not seen a troll.
Though he sounded a little odd to Zaska.
The brittlebone trader knew nothing, no? Akrogu remembers not.
It is what he said, at least. He could have lied.
But why?
The warrior with Chieftain Mayor said he thinks it was a rock slide.
It is possible.
That brittlebone warrior at the gate said he saw something running a sunrise ago, from north of the village.
Maybe that was Fleshkin, no?
The warrior said it was smaller than a brittlebone, so no. Come to think of it, maybe that was the tiny green skin they found. Nothing to do with this troll, though. What can he do for the tribe?
This way? He go there.
What is this?
They seem not surprised to see them.
Strange.
Guardians!
The brittlebones must be calm. They come in peace.
It talks?
Moving on.
Let Grungwa take a closer look.
Akrog must go.
All right then.
He is on his way.
Let Zazka get a proper look.
Akrog must leave.
Of course.
Grungwa will go there.
Let Akrog. The Moonkin will leave.
I won't stop you.
Going now.
What on earth?
I got my eye on you.
If he insists.
He will lead the way.
In that direction?
The gift.
Can't expect me to just stand there and watch. You have a responsibility, goddammit, to me and our unborn child.
I know, and I will fulfill it. But don't you see what a chance this is? If I can only get them to listen, I can change everything.
And if not, what will I tell our child, That their father went off with a bloody orc choice to convince them to better their ways? This is madness, Dietmar. This is madness.
It's Tiara's will. I'm sorry, my love.
Don't call me that. Don't call me that ever again.
Orc tribe. Tiara. The Brittlebone ghosts make sense not.
Chieftain speaks true. But they were speaking of a cub, were they not? The other Brittlebone must have been his mate.
Maybe.
You find out.
What is this?
This looks interesting.
Keep moving.
Time to move on. Let Grungwa take a closer.
I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't anymore.
Sazgo is right at home. What now? More trouble? Head towards certain doom? Sure, why not? This way? Moving on. What is that? Time to get his justice due. Can Sazga help?
This looks interesting.
Go!
That way. On his way.
He is going.
Moving now.
Grunwald will go there.
Going now.
The gift. It whispers again.
Interesting. Probably.
The gift. It whispers again.
In that direction?
Let Akrog see. The gift. It whispers
What is
again.
this?
Big ones?
The Moonkin will leave the tiny...
Yes, yes! Zerixi! Wait, did you say something?
Noah go there?
He is on his way.
Noah go look. Easy. Zazga is listening. If he insists. Let Zazka get a proper look. Zazka is right at home. Can a troll not rest for a moment? Huh. What is that? Interesting. Probably. Let Zazka get a proper look. Time to get his tusks sturdy. Ready for action. Interesting. Probably. What is that?
Let Akrog see.
Can a troll not rest for a moment?
I hate them so much.
That was Chieftain Mayor.
Who he hate?
Good question. Greenskins?
Let Zazka get a proper look.
Going now. What on Urgath is this? Go. What this? He moving.
This way? Interesting.
Another altar with hex power in it. This is a strong one. It worked. Grungwa feels like his blood is burning.
He's going.
What is that?
Huh? What do you need?
Akrog must leave now.
Of course.
No, I'll go look.
The gift. It whispers again.
Let Zaska get a proper look. Huh. What is that?
Moving now.
The gift. It whispers again. What is this?
Akrog must leave.
Of course.
The gift. It whispers again.
Interesting. Probably. You find out.
Sir Troll, what a pleasure.
Akrog wants to buy.
Certainly.
Axes, daggers, swords, everything for the wary traveler. Pleasure doing business with you. Come again. I'm getting new.
No.
All right.
Chieftain Akrog's surprise, the dwarves agreed to a peace talk. It would take place on the fringes of the desert, between Akrog's most trusted warriors and the Chieftain of the Scions. Akrog knew not what to expect of this talk. Only that, no matter the price, the Moonkin would take that scale, with words or with blood. Magwa's bloody udders. What is that? It flies like a beak.
Must be an airboat. Grungwa has heard of them. He told the chieftain what the dwarves lack in size, they make up in cunning.
Crumb is still surprised they agreed to the peace talk. Normally, Brittlebones think trolls only want to crush things.
True. Perhaps they know that a peace talk is sacred to trolls. Once it is agreed, no one who takes part may be harmed. That is the law of Magwa. Now come, let them get this over with.
You're the troll chieftain?
Chieftain Akrog of the Moonkin, cub of Chieftain No...
Look at that. You speak even more nicely than your messenger. Let's get this over with, shall we? I've been told you want something from us.
The Moonkin wish to speak to the Scion's dragon.
Dragon?
The dragon they have enslaved. The Moonkin know about it.
I see. And just why would you want to speak to it?
Is the dwarf Akrog is talking to the kind shepherd, the chieftain of the dwarves.
Is who?
You? Are you the kind shepherd who leads this tribe?
No. No, but I'm his closest confidant. Brother Magger, Grand Cleric of the Third Sigil.
They want to ask the dragon for one of its scales. It is a long story, and they offer the dwarves shiny gold in return. Lots of it.
Out of the question. Go.
Did they even listen? The Moonkin wish not to harm the dragon, and they offer...
I heard you, and the answer is no. Now go back to whatever hole you crept from.
And if they will not?
Then your ugly hides will be perforated by 1,000 dwarven arbalest bolts. You'll never have our dragon. Never. Now get out of my face.
If the dwarves will not let the Moonkin speak to the dragon, they will free it. But say not that Chieftain Akrog gave him no choice.
You're serious about this? Well then, let's see how well your spears and stones do against a dwarven fire ship. You made a mistake coming here, Grunter. We'll make sure it was your last one.
Grunwa hopes this was no mistake, Chieftain. They will be faster to send their warriors now.
Maybe. But Akrog will not taint his honor by killing during a peace talk. Was it not Grunwa who taught Akrog that? Come now. Let them find Anugzai, Himak. He said they found an old troll tribe camp the Moonkin could use. Crum will stay here with a few warriors until they have found the dragon. Alright, Himak. Tell Akrog about the dwarves. Where's their temple? And the dragon?
Up north, and it is big, Chieftain. Very big with very strong walls. Whatever they do, they must be careful. Imak saw the dragon nod, but if he had to guess, he would say it is behind a hex wall in their tribe camp. It is hard to say. Their towers shoot at the beaks whenever they get close. Imak is afraid to risk more.
They need to crush that hex wall then.
It is true. There are hex stones all over the desert, though. Maybe Elder Grunwar Grafer could use them.
Grunwa felt them too when he came here. They are called obelisks, Grunwa thinks. It is true. This could work. They just need to get close enough. Then Grunwa should be able to absorb their hex power. If Grunwa absorbs it from all of them, he might have enough power to crush the dwarf hex wall with a hex of his own.
That sounds like a good plan. Anything else?
This tribe camp here. Imak thinks it belonged to a troll tribe the dwarves drove away. Imak found traces of them. They might still be out there in the desert somewhere. But, well...
Just say it, Imak. Time is short.
Well, fine. This tribe... Imak thinks they are the Worm Eaters.
That the tribe who attacked Moonkin and abandoned Zaska long ago, no?
It is.
So they are hiding from the dwarves. How many are they?
Hard to say. Maybe a dozen. And Imak thinks they hide in a... what is the word? A clearing in the west.
Maybe the Moonkin can get them to join the fight, Chieftain. They need every warrior they can get.
Join? But they attack Moonkin and leave Zaska die! Moonkin should crush them and plant their corpses!
This is confusing, though, Grunwar. Akrog thought the Worm Eaters lived in the mountains.
They did, and still do. Maybe the Worm Eaters here split with the rest of their tribe.
Either way, this is not Akrog's decision to make. It is trusted one Zaska, who they left behind, so he should decide.
No. The Moonkin are here for the survival of the tribe, not to heal the wounds in Zaska's soul. Trusted one Akrog should make this call, and no one else.
The Moonkin will find the Worm Eaters and convince them to help. Akrog has spoken.
It is probably for the best. May Zaska make one wish.
Always.
When they find the Worm Eaters, tell them not Zaska was one of them. Zaska, he would rather keep that corpse buried.
Akrog understands. Now, call in the warriors and the workers. The Moonkin need to repair these huts before they can start fighting.
What is needed of him? At his service.
Saska help?
His trolls are going hungry. They need more food.
On his way. The future of the Moonkin looks bright.
The eye of the tribe sees. The tribe's land grows.
The tribe must survive! Enjoy!
Saska understands not why the dwarves tried not even to peace talk. The Moonkin just wanted to speak to the dragon, nothing more.
Grunwald wonders the same thing.
Maybe they were afraid the Moonkin would break their word and free the dragon. But let them focus on the battle now.
What is that?
What this? Lord ready!
Over there? What next?
Akrogu is listening.
The building is done. Grunwa is here.